Hello, sir.
Hi,
How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Oh, we have some drama going
Sorry, say again.
on. I said there's some drama going on.
Some drama.
Yeah.
Oh, everything all right?
You didn't see the text I sent you guys?
Hold on. I'm sorry. Hold on. Stay here. No, I didn't. I I I didn't get on. I didn't get that.
Oh, Lisa's father had a stroke on Monday.
Oh, I did hear. Yeah, oh, yes, I did get that. I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm sorry for that. And how is he?
Uh, you know what? Believe it or not, they actually had him standing up today.
Oh, praise God for that.
I was really, really, really surprised.
Wonderful.
They got him out of the ICU and into a private room.
Hmm.
They started the PT yesterday.
Okay.
It's not anything to write home about, just lifting his arm. They had him sitting up and whatever, but it's a severe stroke. But he's shown positive signs so far, so we're gonna take it.
Well, that is great because that could have been, yeah, wonderful news.
Yeah.
Wonderful. So, how long do they think he'll be there? He can come back home
He's gonna be there a little while.
for a while. Okay.
He's down in UPMC Mercy.
Okay.
He's in a good hospital. He's in good hands. So
Yeah, bit of a ride though to get there.
about 45 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh,
You live out in Mayberry, everything's a trip.
well, how's Lisa doing? How are you guys doing?
She has her moments, obviously, but she's hanging in there.
That's good.
Yep. Yep. So anyhow, that's the fun we've been having around here.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I thought something new happened today. That's why. Yeah.
No, that's enough. We'll stick with this one for a while. Oh well. What's going on with you? I haven't talked to you.
Same old work. Been really busy with work, and they keep pinging me all day and night. And
Well,
hold on.
you are you are the man. Let's not forget that.
Sorry, say again.
So you are the man. Let's not forget that.
Yeah.
Weary the head that wears the crown, right?
How's your job been going?
Yeah, it's going. It's going. I got I got it. It's just part time, but I got the data analyst role down at the Y. So that was nice. But, it's getting there. It is definitely getting there.
That's good.
Yeah, you need the experience, right? And this is a good way to get it. So.
I guess no Lou tonight.
I don't know. I didn't hear from him.
Hmm.
He might be late. It's Lou. Who knows? But while we're at it, let me ask you a question. What do Alabama, Arkansas, Florida, Georgia, Louisiana, Mississippi, Nevada, and Texas all have in common?
They're in the SEC.
Besides that, I'll give you a hint. There might not be an SEC.
I don't know.
the 8 of them account for at least 15% of the overall hospitalizations for COVID-19 patients. 8 states.
That just sounds to me like some anti-SEC. It sounds like some Big Ten propaganda there.
That's what it is, huh? You know what we're going to do? We're just going to make them sound like they're the worst places on the planet for COVID, so nobody will go to school there. Oh, well. Yep. They make up almost 20%. 8 states. And this past week, Florida has had more COVID cases than all 30 states with the lowest case rates combined. And Florida and Texas alone have accounted for nearly 40% of new hospitalizations across the country. This is according to CNN. Is it any surprise to you that the states with the 2 governors who are the 2 biggest fuck ups on the planet are the ones that are having the biggest problems with the coronavirus, especially with this Delta variant? Does that surprise you at all?
No, not at all.
It's not hard. Get the vaccine.
Well,
Get the shot.
there's some people who are really weird about it. Really weird. I don't know if you saw that video with that Korean store owner who had some ugly white guy come in and not wear a mask, and the Korean store owner asked him to leave, and the guy just threw a tantrum. Did you see that video?
No.
Yeah, it was ridiculous. Typical ugly white man. You're infringing on my rights and blah, blah, blah. It's like, nobody wants what you have. We're freaking mask.
No, leave. You know what? Whine, cry, throw fit. I don't give a shit. Just leave.
And like I walked into the store this afternoon, and I know people were looking at me because I was wearing a mask. And I'm like, F you.
Right.
I want to wear a mask, and we'll wear one. Pressure me not to wear a mask. What the hell's wrong with you people? Don't want to get what you got. I don't want to get a cold, flu, or whatever it is.
Whatever it is, you can keep it. I don't want it.
You can keep it. God. And it was just people are so weird about the whole vaccine thing. I just don't understand it. I just don't get it. I've heard arguments say that, oh well, you do the vaccine, you're going to diminish your body's capabilities to handle colds, and you're weakening your autoimmune. Oh, come on.
So that was people who must have studied, on Facebook University, right?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, they're the ones who went to Johns Hopkins University, got a medical degree. That's right. Yeah, they know what they're talking about. Or some stupid pundit of, Sean Hannity's comes on and, Dr. Make Believe, and he makes up stuff, and anyway.
Right.
So, yeah, it's not surprising.
It's unbelievable. I'm going to tell you, I spend, because I'm looking, for this new direction in my career. So spending a little bit of time on LinkedIn. Okay, and I don't know how much time you spend on it, but you kind of have to dig into it a little bit, because on the surface it doesn't look like it's much. Okay, but you dig into it and you start making some connections with people, and it's actually a pretty cool site. But they have a news thing on the left-hand side, or I'm sorry, on the right-hand side. Okay, just a little, I don't know, maybe it just shows headlines, right? And it keeps up with current events of the day, and so you're almost inevitably you're seeing something about the Delta variant or companies that are requiring vaccinations to come back to work, or things like that. right? Because it is a professional business site or whatever you want to call it. So they're, it's not your drunk uncle who's posting something, right? Well, it is, but I mean, it could be, but it's not going to gain any traction. Um, and you see the same ignorant bullshit, even there, that you would see on Facebook. And the amount of people who are spouting the same shit that you just mentioned about the white guys, you're infringing upon my rights, you know. And it goes down the line, right? It's you're infringing upon my rights. That's always the first one, right? That's always like one of the ones you see. Then you see it's against international law to do this shit, okay? Because now I'm surrounded by a bunch of attorneys too, right? Okay. The next one it is the government has no right to no, or it's a HIPAA violation. That's it. It's a HIPAA violation. Okay, that's number three.
I like
Okay.
that. I like that one.
That's
That one's good one.
because now I'm surrounded by doctors and lawyers, right? So now I'm surrounded by both of them, both of those groups. And it's funny because whenever you read like because they always have the person's name, and then they always have their caption, right? It's basically what they're looking for. Like I'll put data analyst, project manager, yada yada yada, right? You'll see uh, mechanic, or and it's like, okay, dude, and they're saying, oh, it's a HIPAA violation. No, it's not. No, it's not. And I'm always answering people because I can't help myself. I should just shut the fuck up, but I can't. I can't help myself. And I like the last asshole that had the HIPAA thing. I said, no, it's not. Period. And then I started a new sentence. Please Google something before you post. It's like, come on. You're doing something that your next potential employer is going to look at. At least research something before you state.
Why? Why waste it? Why spend the time? I mean, it's too hard to research. Just post whatever you think. Come on, whatever goes into your mind.
If I did whatever went into my mind, I'd be kicked off of there.
Well, I'll tell you, that's why I don't even go on Facebook anymore.
I don't even have an account.
I'm gonna remove my account. I just it's just the biggest waste of time, waste of effort, waste of energy. So yeah, I don't even waste my time there anymore. I mean, it was good when it first started. It was good, but boy, it's a rotten place anymore. Sorry.
Oh, it's a cesspool.
Yeah, it's a cesspool.
It really is.
And you get people just angry people yelling and screaming whatever the hell they want, and
it's even better when you live around here and everybody thinks they knows everything about anything, right? And you got people who you can't slap their ass with both hands, and they're stating things as fact. It's like, asshole, I went to school with you. I know how freaking stupid you are. Come on, man. And you're posting this shit like you just got your degree from MIT. It's insane. And I was like, you know what? I'm off. I'm done. And I want to say, because I talked Lou into it. Took him about a year after I did. After I got off. And I want to say I've been off of it for 5 years. 4 or 5 years. And so, like I said, Lou took him about a year. And then finally he snapped. He said, you know what? I had enough. And, he did the same thing. He cleared it out. He good. And you have to go, it's like you have to give them one of your kidneys in order to remove your account. But he did. And, yeah, I did. Kel did, one of our friends. She removed hers. We're out. We're done. We don't want anything to do with that place anymore.
Yeah, in fact, I even got to remove my account. And you're right. You got to give them a kidney to get rid of it. So I'm just going to make it like whatever, so like only I can see it or something. Whatever that permission is, like just or shut it down or whatever. Yeah, because I don't even know how to get in. I don't even like log in anymore because I don't know what my password is. And
It's accessible, and I don't get it because that is the one thing that I can't tell you how many people. That's the only reason they even know what the internet is. They think it's the Facebook machine, right?
mm.
So they can just spend their time on Facebook. They don't even realize that there's so many other things out there. Oh, this is going to be fun.
Yeah, here we go again.
Oh, look at this.
It's Lucy's calling from outer space.
Oh my goodness.
Poltergeist.
Get an Apple. Get a Mac. Won't have to deal
You
with
wanna
this.
give me, my cousin Grant, you want to give me $1,000?
There we go. I don't know if you can see the names or not.
Lou the Poltergeist. Oh, I noticed you're in charge of the names now.
I am.
Would you please change mine back?
Okay.
Okay, the camera's on and
That's fine.
Oh, you're good with that, right?
I'm good with that, yes. There's
Hey,
Lou.
look out.
Hey, Lou.
there. I just got in. I was in Medina today for industry function, golfing.
I like industry functioning better, right?
Yeah, well, yeah, because I'm playing with their money, and I won $100.
Good. Nice. Congratulations.
So,
Lou, how long have you been off of Facebook?
oh, how long have you been off?
I thought there was maybe a year between us.
I don't even think it was that long. I was going to say 3 years, maybe.
I guessed 5, but 3 probably sounds better.
No, well, you know what? It wasn't a year after Trump took over. I couldn't take it anymore.
And I was off before that.
You were off before that. I was going to say I was in the spring of 17, so it might be 4 years.
Yeah, it might be 4 years. Because we're Master Grant's about done with it.
You know what? I thought about it, and I'm like, I hear people say, well, oh, you keep in touch with relatives. Well, if I really liked them, I'd probably call
them. Yeah. You already have them in your phone, right?
Yeah. If you know what, if they're not in my phone.
Yeah, that's always been how I look. If I wanted anything to do with you, I'd already be talking to you.
It's just, you talk about the disinformation and Zuckerberg and just what's on there, and they claim they're cleaning things up. It's a cesspool.
That's exactly the word I use for it.
I mean, truthfully. I mean, all it showed me is there's a reason. I graduated high school in 1975. Now I know why I haven't talked to a lot of them since 1976.
Honest to God, it was like you heard our conversation 15 minutes ago.
I'm sure you said the same thing.
Because I told Master Grant, I was like, I'm watching some of the shit these people post. I'm like, fuck, I went to high school with you. I know how stupid you are. And you're sitting there talking like you just graduated from MIT.
Yeah, I mean, just some of the...
And it was amazing how, going back these past 4 years and seeing some of the things that they posted, because my wife still has an account, so she would just look at me and say, "Do you believe this? Look at this shit." And it wasn't really surprising to me what was posted, but who posted it.
Yeah, sometimes that's surprising to me too.
That's the stuff that really surprised me. Even people that I knew were, or what I thought were rather right-wing leaning, totally blew me out of the water because I was like, oh my God, you drank the Kool-Aid.
I don't have a problem. I mean, yeah, I lean left. They consider me left wing, which I'm really not, and I don't really think most you either, or Master Grant, because we talked about it before. We have a lot of conservative ideals when it comes to certain things, but these people are not conservatives.
No.
They're far from it. Many conservatives, you could sit there and argue and talk to them. It's a point of view, point of view. I win this point of view, you win this point of view. But I mean, they're so far right they don't have basis in reality or facts.
No. And that's the scary part. And what's scary is they continue to subscribe to things that they are considering a legitimate news source, and they're doing it simply because they agree with what's being said. So they legitimize it. Okay? There is no way, Newsmax is a news source. There's
Or OAN.
or OAN. I mean, Fox isn't. And Fox has more credibility than those other two things do. And yet, this is what I mean. It's the video version of what's his name, Rush Limbaugh.
Yeah.
It really is. It's the video version of it. Master Grant, I don't think we have found anybody to take his place yet, have they?
Sean Hannity.
No, I mean on the radio. I mean, like honestly, took his.
No, not his spot. No.
No.
Don't they have isn't that Dan Bongino on a lot of it?
I have no idea.
On taking his slot in a lot of areas.
Do you know who took it here? Because don't forget, we used to have a pretty good radio station back, 30 years ago. Well,
Who took it?
I don't know.
No.
I really don't know. I mean, I can remember like even whenever Nick was young, and just listening to the radio for school closings or whatnot, right? Like I said, this is going back 20 years. Well, not quite 20 years because he's 21 now. 17 years ago, 16 years ago. That was actually happening. I mean, honestly, it's not like we're on a new time, right?
Looks like it's going to be a Clay Travis and Buck Sexton.
I haven't heard either. Maybe it's a good thing. I'm not going to complain. Maybe it's a good thing. I'll take the willful ignorance at this point, because I've never heard of them, and they're going to have to do something pretty outrageous to get his viewers or his listeners. So,
Yeah, because I thought that one was there, and I mean, there's a lot of wannabes right now.
Yeah. One of them is going to rise to the top, right? One of them is going to rise to the top.
Yeah. How's your father-in-law, real quick?
Well, they got him into a private room now. Today he got out of ICU, got into a private room. They actually had him standing up. Now I don't know for how long. And obviously, he had a lot of assistance because there's nothing on his left side at all. I mean, nothing. And he's getting pissed off and keeps pulling the feeding tube out. I don't know why.
Well, well, it's a good sign at least.
Yeah, well, that's what I told my wife, because she was, she's upset about him. Like, honey, look at the character he's shown. Let him go. He's not giving in.
How old is he?
78, 79, something like that. I don't think he hit 80 yet.
But yeah. What else were you talking about briefly? Just like the disinformation off Facebook and It just frustrated me. And like I said, I had a conversation last week with somebody, and I'm getting to the point where what are you believing? Because there's people that I thought were stronger of mind and common sense, and they're like getting sucked up with this.
Yeah. Well, I do know some very well educated people, right? Who are all in this. And what do we say, right? Just because you're well educated doesn't mean you're intelligent.
Oh yeah, we've seen that.
You and I work with somebody like that.
Yeah.
I mean, she was only there for a brief period of time, but right?
It just amazes me, and the proof's in the pudding. Just for what you see, I'm looking at the people protesting having to wear masks for their kids, and you know what? The kids probably don't give a crap.
Kids
If
don't.
the parents didn't say anything, they'd be like, okay.
Yeah, kids don't care. They never did. Okay, and in fact, were those two idiots in Louisiana, or wherever it was, that decided to take their masks off during the school board meeting and said that they're homeschooling their kids? Was those two morons, those two Karens?
I missed that. I saw the Tennessee deal and some other areas, and and did you happen to see the shirt that McCarthy put out for fundraising?
McCarthy? No.
He put out, what the hell does it say? And I'm like, if that isn't a self-owned, I don't know what is. Remember when Pelosi called him a moron about a week ago?
Yeah.
So he puts out these T-shirts. I don't know if you've seen them. If I could find a picture. There it is. Okay, he has moron and has a pronunciation noun, a term coined by Nancy Pelosi referring to freedom-loving Americans who oppose mask mandates. It's kind of true, isn't it?
That's about that on, yeah. What's he trying to do with that?
Let's see what he's charging for it.
I mean, you really can't hit him for slander or libel or anything because, well, yeah, that's it exactly. That's exactly what she did.
He needs you to get this T-shirt to oppose her and the radical socialist left.
Oh, here we go with the socialism again.
Yeah. Donation 25, 50, 100, 250, 1,000, 2,500, and other.
Ooh.
I'm getting my credit card. Hold on. What site was this?
I found this on Twitter, but yeah, I mean, what's the end game? Trying to use this and say, look, Biden didn't end the pandemic?
I don't know. Apparently, these guys aren't any good at math because with as many of these people they're getting infected and they're dropping over, it's going to start affecting your ability to get reelected.
Yeah, because I mean, if I'm running in one of those areas as a congressman, I could say, you know what? You listened to these clowns and you killed how many of your friends and relatives listening to McCarthy?
Uh-huh.
And if you notice, the blue states have a 10 times lower death rate because they put a mask on.
Yeah.
Well, Newcastle had about 3 deaths yesterday recorded.
Oh, we did?
Yes, we did. I think 23 new cases, 3 deaths.
Yeah.
The one death from COVID, I don't know if you knew her, was, I think I used to see her at St. Camillus, was a DeLillo.
Jason's wife.
Yeah, is that who it was?
I know Jason. Yeah.
Blonde, 5 kids.
Apparently was all over Facebook telling everybody, don't get the vaccine. It's a hoax, the whole 9 yards. She gets the damn thing. She's dying. And she knows, she doesn't. She's going to be all screwed up. Then she starts posting, I was wrong. This is real. It's too fucking late now, honey. It's too fucking late now. So now your husband is without a spouse and your 5 kids are without a mother because you decided to be a fucking asshole.
Yeah.
That's simple. You decided to be an asshole.
And you know what amazes me? She was an Air Force veteran.
Mhm.
How many vaccines does the armed forces get when they got to go overseas? About 15.
Yeah, they get a ton.
Yeah, here, give me your arm, or you're not going,
Yeah, you're in
or
the
you're going to jail.
yeah you're in the brig. Yeah,
You're in a brig.
yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what the end game is. It just amazes me.
I really think, Master Grant, I really think that they are doing this shit just so they can quote own the libs. I think that was a standard that was set during the asshole Trump era, and they're just carrying through with it because all of these assholes that are doing this, are all Trumpies. Everyone, you don't see DeWine doing this.
So what do you think the end game is for them, though?
I think they just want to do everything they can to own the libs. That's it.
Yeah, they're really owning him when we were watching him drop over dead. Are they going to use it and say, see, Biden couldn't stop the pandemic either? Well, you know what? If you listened to me, it would have stopped.
Yeah.
What's fall going to be like? Is it going to mutate into something worse and re-affect us now?
Maybe. We don't know. We don't know.
Yeah. Just.
You know what? Not taking care of yourself is not owning me.
No.
I'm losing the empathy now.
Oh, I lost the empathy a long time ago. I mean, you guys heard me. What was it? Even as far as 2 or 3 weeks ago, I said there are no longer any victims. It's now a choice. You're not a victim of this anymore. Your family may be, your loved ones may be victims, but you're not. You made a choice.
I just love the hypocrisy of how these same people will go off on a tangent about how our country supports abortion murders and you got to love life, blah, 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 respect the unborn, blah, blah, blah. And yet they're the same people who go to the grocery store, walk around without a mask on because it's their freedom, and then get somebody who's got a weakened immune system sick and die because of them. That's okay because they're not unborn fetuses, right? So, guess once you're born, it doesn't matter. You're kill you any time. It's just the hypocrisy is incredible of how they go about the greatest thing in this country is abortion, blah blah blah, and yet then they go out and they go and be real irresponsible with themselves, potentially getting other people sick and dying.
Yep.
I mean, help me understand that.
And you know what? The abortion issue, with this going on and them whining that mask is our issue, our freedom. They still are going to whine about abortion and that's a woman. No, I can control that. Because you know what that's all about, controlling women, and you're not breeding enough white people because the census just come out and we're declining now.
Yeah.
We don't want women going to work.
What Washington Post today, right? The number of people identifying as non-Hispanic, white, and no other race dropped by 5.1 million, a decrease of 2.6%. Okay, first time in how long, Will?
1790.
1790, yeah. At first, I thought it was a misleading headline that it was going by percentage, right? A percentage of population, which we knew the percentage was dropping. But whenever you see that, no, the actual numbers have dropped, which means we're dying off, right? Because the actual totals, not the percentage, but the actual hard numbers are dropping. So we're dying off and not reproducing. I don't think anybody saw that coming, right?
Well,
But
those numbers have been around for the past 20 years. This is nothing new. They had these statistics compiled. Everyone knew that white people would be losing the majority in this country 20 years ago.
Yep.
It's simple math. Of course, as soon as I say the word math, everybody's eyes glaze over. It's like, oh no, shut them up, shut them up.
Yeah.
You know, 1 + 1 is a no, I can't. But you know, it's been just the stats are there. This shouldn't be a surprise to anybody. If it is, then well, that just kind of goes to show our education sucks. But it's been around for a long time.
Yeah.
You think about it? How many people do you know, even right now, that have 3 kids, let alone 2 and 1 maybe, 2 maybe, 3's an anomaly now with the current generation.
Yeah. And I'm looking at the Gen Zers, and they're not having kids at all.
Well, you know what? And you think about it of being cause and effect. Well, geez, why aren't they having kids? Maybe because of college education being sky high. There's no jobs that you can walk into that paid well, like there was 40 years ago, that you didn't have to go to high school. You could walk out and, go work in a mill or an assembly line and support a family.
They're not buying cars. They're not buying houses.
They're not buying TVs. They're not watching TV.
No, I mean even Nick don't want to watch a TV. He watches everything on his phone.
And I don't know if you saw that other thing in the census too. I didn't go through all the figures yet. Metropolitan area increases in population were 8%. Rural populations dropped 2%.
Right, and that's predictable as well, because you can't. Farming is not. You can't even make a living being a farmer. You have to have a full-time job, and the farm is a hobby. The only people who make money on it are the big mega farms. So,
corporate farms.
Unless you're a subsistence farmer like an Amish, there's no way to make money. You can't even pay your debt. That's why everybody's bailing. Yeah, it makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, you think about farming. I mean, 40 years ago, if you had 150 acres, say, you could make a living. I'm not doing it now. I mean, the guy down the street from me, he has a lot over on 551. He has some here. He might have 150, 175 total. Last time I talked to him, he's taking a beating. My daughter-in-law's father, his family has a big operation. They're running about 1,000 acres. Okay, but guess what? Both of them are working on the side too, even with 1,000 acres. You got the big agribusiness. They're probably run. You take out in Iowa, Illinois, Kansas. What are they running out there? Probably 5,000-6,000 acres of crack.
Yeah, it's just not profitable. And even if you want to project out further, those big 5,000 acre farms are going to lose out because they're starting to put everything under hydroponics, aquaponics. Those are just starting to take off like gangbusters. There's millions and millions of dollars being invested. Even downtown, you'll see right on the shoreline, they're going to be converting that to a big hydroponics, aquaponics facility. And because you just produce more per acre, it's so much more profitable
Sure.
than it is to farm 100 acres. You could do it in one room and
Right.
make money on it. So yeah, so farmers who are specializing, so farmers need to either specialize in high profitable goods, or go into greenhousing. So yeah, big change in that.
And Lou, how many of those farms that we have between us 20 years ago that were those fields were full and they were constantly being used, and now we're seeing them empty?
Well, you know what, too? I think when I moved out here, there was Harris McClellan across the street. His cousin was next to me, Sam. Then there was another farm there too. There was, in between me and you, those were probably like in behind the township building, there was a farm there. Those fields down between, down in the dip there, both sides. Well, those are all being done by one guy now.
Yeah. And the only farmer I know that's doing that is Sperduti.
Sperduti's doing all that up by you. He's doing some of this over here, plus what he has over near where he lives.
Yeah. He's really the only one that I can think of that is making a living. I mean, and you got what was it down in the Goose Trail? There's a farm down there, but he's not nearly the size. And that's it.
When you look at all the expenses that they incur, from even if they own the farm outright, the taxes, property taxes are so prohibitive. It's like you're paying rent to somebody.
Yep.
With property taxes. It's insane. So
what's an empty acre go for out here for farm taxes? Do you know?
$800 to $1,000.
It probably isn't that high.
I'm guessing.
I was gonna say maybe 150 an acre.
It's a little more than that. Say, say 400, which I bet you is pretty close. Now, don't forget, out here too, it's how you use the land.
Yeah.
Right. So I'm kind of averaging things. So if you're just a soy farmer, you're probably not paying what I'm paying, even though we're in the same zoning district. Right, that farm behind me, literally, you look on my window right here, you can see it. I don't even know what he's doing this year, because I haven't seen that thing being used at all. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Speaking of the vaccines, San Fran is going to require full COVID vaccinations for indoor entertainment, including restaurants and gyms.
Well, we knew it was coming.
Right?
We knew it was coming. Eventually, they're going to require you carry in a vaccine card. So.
Or a raised. Oh, this is and all that is a vaccination record. So I don't see what the problem is.
Yeah.
Right. You've been showing people those things your entire life. You want to go to school, you better have a vaccine record. You want to go to college, you better have a vaccine record.
You're imposing on my freedoms.
Mm-hmm.
Well, did you see? Was it Indiana State University said you need a vaccine to come to college this fall, and 8 students filed a lawsuit. Took it to the Supreme Court real quick, and they said you got to have a vaccine.
Yeah, this isn't hard, right? It's not. They're not imposing anything. That's the part that these assholes, they either ignore or conveniently forget. Okay, they're not imposing anything. You've always had to do this in one form or another. Okay, all these asshole kids that went to college, all 8 of them that decided they had to show their record to get into the college. All right.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. There's, yeah. So,
I
just don't. I really just don't.
Your mumps vaccine. You got to show all that shit. You got to show your COVID vaccine now. What difference does it make?
Again, I just don't understand what liberties are being infringed upon.
I don't either.
You are, yeah.
And
what are you having to give up?
And I think this is where we're running into a problem, is because these folks don't quite know what exactly their liberties are. They just
They
know
don't
what.
under, they don't under. Here's a good one that sums it up too, real quick. They don't understand driving is a privilege, voting is a right.
Correct. Yes. Yes. And I've had that argument a couple of times. Okay. I have, but I really think that they are subscribing to things that are telling them that their liberties are being infringed upon, even though they don't know what the hell they are, or they know it is, and they're just being willfully ignorant about it.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't see what the harm is of showing, because like I said, you had to get into school, you had to get into a college, you had to show proof of vaccination, or you didn't get in. You wanted to go to high school. Well, I couldn't have got. I mean, the Newcastle High School,
Right.
right? I couldn't have done that without a vaccine record. And because we ended up going to 3 different buildings, right? It was the same school district, but I should have 4 if you count St. Vitus. Every one of those buildings, every one of those actual physical locations wanted a record of your vaccination, even though it was the same school district. So
Yeah.
going to another, I had to show the vaccination.
Yeah.
It's just a good thing that you didn't go to the School of Hard Knocks of Neshannock, because Neshannock they don't require vaccinations there. They don't believe in them.
Yeah. See, and all these people that whine, it's against the Constitution. I mean, what's it say in the preamble? We, the people of the United States, in order to form a more perfect union, establish justice, ensure domestic tranquility, provide for the common defense, promote the general welfare, and secure the blessings of liberty to ourselves and our posterity. So what's it say? Provide for general welfare? Why do you think the Supreme Court yesterday told the kids going to Indiana, get your vaccine? That's general welfare. It's as simple as that.
It's as simple as that. It's right there.
It's all it is.
Yeah, we're not. It's the old saying, right? The needs of the many outweigh the desires of the few. It's just that simple. And like I said, I keep repeating this. We are all members of a contributive society. Okay? We contribute to the society. We pay taxes, for an example. We all pay taxes, and we benefit from that by having roads, bridges, fire departments, police departments, school districts, yada, yada, yada. It goes on down the line. Okay? We contribute, we get something in return. These folks are living off of our contributions. In this case, the vaccine, and they're not willing to contribute themselves. So they're leeching off of society. And their argument is, it's my liberties. No, you're a leech. Okay? It's just that simple. Whenever you guys, these same assholes, see somebody walking down the street at 10 and 11 o'clock in the morning, what's the first thing they say? Wait, look at this asshole. He won't go get a job, and I'm paying for him. Right? And I sit there and say, look at you assholes. I got a vaccine, and I'm covering for you, and yet I have people in a hospital right now. They can't see their family because you assholes are overrun the damn thing.
Well, I'm reading a little further down in the Declaration of Independence, and it lists here about King George III. He has excited domestic vaccinations against us, and he has endeavored to bring the vaccinated inhabitants to our frontier. So clearly, the Declaration states that, King George started this vaccination stuff, and so we need to rebel against it.
He's the reason.
You know, I didn't realize this vaccine went this far back. Did you know during the Revolutionary War, General Washington said, "Get your fucking smallpox vaccine or get out"?
Yeah, he said it to the Revolutionary Army. No, that's the
To the
truth.
that's true. To the
Yeah.
Revolutionary Army.
Yeah. Well, whatever they did for a vaccine, it wasn't an actual vaccine back then, but it was.
So we were chipping people back in the 1700s.
And so that was not the same year, 1701. I think that Gates founded Microsoft. Or a grant from the Chinese or something like that.
Yeah. Oh my goodness.
So, what do you guys think about? So, speaking of complete lawlessness and craziness, what do you think about the Taliban overrunning Afghanistan and pretty much just doing a Vietnam, where probably by the end of the weekend or early next week, Taliban will have complete control of the country again?
It didn't surprise me.
Neither.
I shouldn't even be surprised it was this quick when they said a lot of the army's just going over and joining the Taliban at this point.
Yeah.
The-
I'm not surprised.
I mean, why were we there for 20 years? We went in, got Bin Laden out, and I got a story for you about that too. And why are we there? How many Americans were killed there? 2,300?
I have no idea. What I do know is we're in the second generation of people, of Americans being.
Well, my nephew by marriage got shot by the Taliban there in a raid. He recovered fine, but I mean, he lost some blood till they got him out of there.
Right. I know. I've had guys in my school that were down there. We're over there, and Master Grant, they're all kinds of messed up. I mean, they're all kinds of fucked up. And it wasn't. I don't think so much of well, let me rephrase that. It was a bad scene, but whenever you're doing 3, 4, 5 tours, you just can't handle it anymore. Your body, your brain, it can't handle this thing for this long. It's going to have an effect on you. I mean, one tour is going to have an effect on you. Now you're there 3, 4, 5, 6 times. If for no other reason, that's the reason we get out. Okay, and the fact that they had 20 years to try to take care of this, what the hell were they doing for 20 years?
Just selling arms and using our tax money that we could have used for other things.
But I mean, all these places now that are getting overrun, we've been there for 20 years. Apparently, or supposedly, we were training them, we were arming them, we were pumping all this time, energy, money, people into this. What the hell were you guys doing for 20 years?
Well, you're training people that basically got U.S. Army training. Now they could go with the Taliban and train them. They probably didn't want to be there in the first place.
Well, that's a good point, Master Grant. How much stronger is this going to make those guys now? Because they have the military training now.
Well, it just goes to show the lack of planning. This is all during George W.'s reign. Started this. There was no plan. And then you're going to force these people to think like you think and behave like you want them, like you think they should behave? Come on. We are such. I guess.
Well, it was Obama's term too.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, Bush, Obama, they all. Trump, no plan, nothing. And I got to say it like this. What would you think? How would you feel if China all of a sudden doesn't like the way that they see how some of our police officers treat black people, and China decides they're going to come over and they're going to take over and they're going to correct us. What is that? How do you feel?
Yeah,
Pretty crappy.
You're gonna be a little resentful, I would think.
Yeah, and we're doing the same thing. The Afghans don't want us there. You know what? If it's their country, you know what? If the Taliban overthrows their government, well, not our problem,
No.
Not our responsibility. They've got to figure it out.
Right.
And so, I guess, it's a breeding ground for terrorists. Terrorists are going to be breeding anyway, somewhere else anyway. So, better know where they're at.
Yeah, I see a lot of breeding grounds here in this country with people marching, all white people with hoods and Nazi flags and Confederate flags.
And tiki torches.
Tiki, yeah, there's your, you talk about a breeding ground. There's your terrorists there. Kind of terrorist thing on January 6th, wasn't it?
Sure was.
Yeah. And so we've spent, what, $1 trillion in Afghanistan, and what do we got to show for it?
Not a damn thing.
2,300 dead.
2,300.
Probably 6 times, 10 times more wounded, hurt, mentally,
And a VA system that, for all intents and purposes, really isn't worth a shit.
Yeah. And so, and for what? The only good we really did is we made some Afghans really rich.
Oh, yeah.
So,
yeah. We made a lot of people really rich.
We didn't help the people at all. And you know what? The people are supporting the Taliban. That's why they're marching through so fast. You get people jumping sides. Like I said, it's their country.
Yeah, you know what? When they showed, I saw some film of them. Oh, they took over these cities. Well, people were sitting around like, "Hi,
yep.
Hey Joe, nice seeing you again. Ahmed, long time no see.
How's your mom?
Welcome home.
How's your mom and dad? Right? Yeah.
And so,
but you know what, Master Grant, you were dead on. It's their country. Let them figure it out.
Yeah. We don't need to be enforcing our values. Just like we don't want the Chinese coming over here and enforcing Chinese values on us. Right? Why would we think that it would be okay for us to do to someone else? Now, we did have a good purpose going there. Of course, George W. screwed it all up with his stupid Iraq diversion because of Daddy Bush. Because of revenge for Daddy Bush's threat on his life.
So now we got all that shit to deal with.
But had we had the world's support, we could have flown into northern Afghanistan, northern Pakistan, rooted bin Laden out, and be done with it. We had the whole world on our side, and Afghanistan and Pakistan wouldn't have cared. They would have let us do it, and we would have been done. Got mission in, mission out, done.
Here, I got a story for you. It's back, it was about 2000, I'm going to say 5 or 6. I was working construction then. And, that was the days of before a lot of internet and everything else. I mean, it was there, but, and I ended up working for about a month with this guy on flipping this house. And he was Army veteran. And he was in Afghanistan in 2001 in November. They were running support for Army Rangers looking for bin Laden. So he was in the base camp, and he says, the Rangers come in, and he said, these guys were like, they were in Afghanistani uniforms, basically, to blend in. These guys, they were trained, they were fluent. The guy come in, threw his rifle across the barracks, the room. Other one come in pissed. They said, what's going on? And he says, you know what? This is nothing but a crock of shit. And he says, I'm not even allowed to tell you this. So I you know what? And the places matched up too, later on when I heard this. He says, well, we had bin Laden in the sights to blow his convoy into Russia. we were given the order not to attack. He said this was at the K-Bar Pass, which is the pass going into Pakistan. And later on, if you remember, Cheney and stuff says we missed him at the K-Bar Pass.
He did. Yeah, you're right.
Okay, he was there. He said they could have blown his convoy into the next century. And he says we were ordered not to shoot, not to attack.
Yeah, wonder.
You could take that for. I mean, it was like, okay, I know you were there, and he was still pissed about it 5 years later.
Oh yeah.
Well, so you ask yourself, who profits from a decision like that?
Rich.
Well, let's see: Boeing, KBR, Raytheon. Who else?
McDonald's.
All the people who supply.
Couple of cheeks, I'm sure.
They're the ones who benefit, and so it didn't make sense for them to end that war quickly.
Nope.
Just think, they would have blown them out. Then they would have walked out of there.
Yeah, it'd be over.
Well, it's not financially responsible to do so.
Yeah, because he said that, and it was like a few years back. I heard later, like before Bush was out, and I was like, "Oh, we missed him at the K-Bar Pass." I'm like, "Oh my God, guy was there."
Rung a bell. Yeah,
Rung a bell.
Yeah.
He was. I forget what division he was with.
Well, whichever one it was.
They were running support for the Rangers.
Unbelievable. Oh, guys, I think that's about it. I smell my peppers. They're about done.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I got to get rolling too. But
yep. And it smells good. So last thing you want is me hungry doing this.
Hey. Well, we'll see what happens.
Yeah, we will. Okay, folks. Thank you very much. Great show tonight, guys. Great show. We'll be back next Friday for next Friday's roundup. Same bad time, same bad channel.
Oh, we didn't want to end with a joke on it.
All right, go ahead.
Well, what'd I just do?
Oh.
Here, you know what? My sixth sense of humor. I saw this, and I just started laughing. It was one of the dumbest things, but let me see where it was.
Well, while you're looking, I've got one.
Yeah.
How can you tell if you go into a liquor store who the Baptists are and who the Catholics are?
No clue.
The Catholics will talk to each other.
Good point. Okay. I shot it on Discord. The picture. This is a true one.
Well, before we get to lose, a word of advice. Okay. Don't ever date a tennis player. Okay. Because she might be just the most athletic thing in the world, but love means nothing to her.
No.
Sorry, I'm sorry. Don't give me that look. Don't do that.
You got that picture?
It's coming. It takes
That's
me
great.
No shit.
I just started busting up. Oh, geez.
That's good.
All right.
Good job, Master Grant.
Thank you.
Good job. Love it.
Well done.
Love it.
We will, like I said, folks, before we went off on this really horrible tangent, we will be back next week. Same bad time, same bad channel. Until then, everybody, goodbye, good luck, and God bless. We'll see everybody next Friday.
All right.